Hi everyone, Dr. David Kulla here with Synergy Wellness in New York City to go over the do's and don'ts of spondylolisthesis. Yes, it's a tongue twister. So I would say, first of all, if you've been diagnosed with a spondylo, which would be done typically by x-ray, okay? It could be done by CT scan and MRI, but typically it's found on x-ray. So if you have been diagnosed, then you want to have a flexion and extension x-ray done to make sure that it's stable, especially if you have a pars fracture on both sides. So you want to make sure that the vertebra doesn't slip more forward when you flex or when you go into extension. So those are two things that are important to know. And if you have a bilateral pars fracture, you could have some instability there, and then you're looking at surgery if it's unstable. That being said, let's say like most people, it's a stable spondylolisthesis, meaning it doesn't slip more forward or improve whether you're in flexion or extension, again, done by x-ray. Then for most of you, you just want to avoid lifting heavy things, okay? Don't go lift an air conditioner. Not a smart thing to do. I don't care how old you are, okay? If you're a 20-something-year-old big old buck, okay, or a 50-year-old big old buck, it doesn't matter. You should not lift. Those things are deceivingly heavy. You shouldn't lift them. And you certainly shouldn't do it without some help. Even if you do that, I would hire someone to do that kind of stuff. Be smart. When you move, don't move all the stuff yourself. Avoid bending and coming up, bending and coming up. So you want to put all your boxes up on a table where it's at waist level. Being smart about how you move, how you pick up things, and also the other thing I would say is have your feet checked. If you're flat-footed, that's gonna make it worse and put more stress on the spondylo because it's gonna cause forward pelvic tilt if you're flat-footed. So I would check that out and correct that with arch supports or foot orthotics. And the other don'ts, I'm kind of throwing them out there in an uneven fashion here, the do's and the don'ts. But the don'ts really are be smart about how you lift things. Don't force your back into hyperextension. So hyperextension would be in yoga doing one of those backward wheels or half wheels. Not a smart thing to do with spondylolisthesis. Also, I would say a do would be keep your psoas muscle loose. Keep your hip flexors loose. Correct that forward tilt of the pelvis with orthotics, but also with stretching of your quads, the front of your thighs. Stretch your hamstrings and tighten your core, build your core. And those are my do's and don'ts for spondylolisthesis. And I think that Tigger would agree with me.